So this is a Fantom Fury. This one was made in 1997. This is a 10 amp model. So this vacuum came from another vacuum collector. It was traded for a machine I had that they wanted. I don't know specifically what the reason is behind this machine that I like, but I will say, as far as Furies go, for whatever reason, I just have always seemed to like the 10 amp models the best. Maybe because it was the first model, and I always liked the fact that the handle grip and the bumpers were different colors, so that gave it a little more of a contrast, as opposed to the later models that were basically completely black. Being a 97, this is only 1 year into them making these. They came out in 96, and they were making the 10 amp ones until I believe early mid 98, before they switched to making only 12 amp models. And being this is a 10 amp Fury, it's got the sticker Fury logo instead of the printed on logo, but this has a printed on Fantom logo as well instead of a sticker. Some 10 amp Furies had a sticker label and then some did not. You can see I have a full attachment set for it. The crevice tool and the floor tool are both brand new old stock, as well as the dusting brush and upholstery tool. The upholstery tool was actually an option for Fantoms that you could order as an extra accessory. The motor's been completely rebuilt on it, so it runs very smooth. That's part of the reason why I'm making a video of this machine, because I want you all to hear what a 10 amp Fury should sound like when the motor's been completely serviced, as well as hearing what the original motor would sound like. I will say, getting this together and back together can be a little bit tricky. There's just a couple things that have to go back in just right on this machine, and being less familiar with it beforehand, it took me a couple tries to get it right, but I finally did. And no, they're not the most powerful, and historically Furies don't have great suction through the hose, but this one is actually pretty decent through the hose. And I think it's just because everything's been put together, back together properly, and the motor has also been serviced on it. So that's a couple things to note about the machine. And overall, it's in good shape. You can tell that it was used, but it's still in pretty good shape. The only thing I don't like is that the previous owner shortened the cord, so the new cord that's on it, or I should say the cord as it is only about 15 to 20 feet long now, so it's very short. The cord originally would have been closer to 30 feet long, and you can kind of tell because this is about, I think, where I think this was actually this original cord, but it was shortened. A few other things to note. This has the matte color hose, rubber hose. Some of the early Furies had a glossy type rubber hose, but this one does not. Some of the cords also had a more glossy appearance, but this one has a matte appearance. That I have yet to figure out why that is, and how some were like that and some weren't. So that's something I'm still trying to investigate, but I have learned a lot of information by reading some of the Fantom service booklets that I don't own, but I have been able to read. Other than that, it's a nice working Fury. It doesn't have a broken handle release pedal like they do about half the time, so that's a nice thing not to have to deal with. Even though I still prefer the Thunder style Fantoms because the Thunders clean better and last a little longer, I would say I've really grown to appreciate this vacuum a little more, just because once it's properly serviced, it's actually very pleasant to use. It's quieter than the Thunder, and it's also a few pounds lighter, so that's what makes it a little more manageable to use in regards to comparing it to a Thunder. Other than that, I'll give it a quick run. This carpet's been vacuumed multiple times over the last couple days, so I don't expect it to pick up very much, but we'll give it a run anyway. It's on the highest setting, which is still not quite high enough for this carpet. It's a little hard to push on this carpet, but anyway, we'll give it a run. So you can see that despite being a 25-year-old Fantom, it runs very nicely. And for Fury, you can hear there's a lot of air moving through the machine and through the hose. So anyway, that is the Fantom Fury, 10 amp Fantom Fury, and I'll just give it a quick full shot of the machine here. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video.